Welcome to Layer the Alchemist, where we discuss all things heavy metal and hard rock. On today's episode, another in my series of heavy thoughts. This is where I take a moment to ramble on for a bit about some things that have been on my mind. So, what's been on my mind lately is CDs, and will we see a CD revival? There's no denying that CDs are not what they used to be as far as sales and in the public out there. It's pretty much, unless you go to a dedicated record store where they might have a CD section, you pretty much, at least where I live, you can't. It's hard to find CDs. Best Buy doesn't have them anymore. I was just in a Best Buy the other day, and they had a huge. When you were checking out, they had a huge bin just with CDs dumped in there for like $1.99 or something. Walmart, I don't even know if they carry CDs anymore. So it's not easy to even find CDs. You can still get them on Amazon and everything like that. So they're still out there, but their presence is definitely diminished. And it got me thinking, will there eventually be a CD revival? And I've seen some people post topics on this on YouTube and comparing it to, will it be like vinyl, the way vinyl disappeared for so many years and then vinyl came back strong. Well, the other thing that got me on this topic is I stumbled across a video from a girl who, her channel was not all music related stuff, but she had a video that was like something like why I like CDs. And she was clearly young, looked like she was maybe in her early 20s. And I found it really interesting listening to her talk about why she was into buying CDs. And some of her logic, which made total sense, was that vinyl is expensive. And I've talked about this in kind of other videos I did, sort of ranting that the price of vinyl keeps going up, quality control issues. You can search out that video. I won't go too in depth with it. Prices, quality control, limited supplies of albums that then show up on eBay for ridiculous prices. So like this girl was mentioning, CDs are way cheaper than vinyl. And you can't argue with that. And she was into like 90s. She was talking a lot about like 90s pop singers and stuff like that. I don't remember exactly what she was buying, but it was stuff like that, stuff from the 90s. And she said even sometimes some of these artists that she was interested in didn't release any. Don't have these particular albums, were never released on vinyl. And with some of these pop artists from the 90s, I can see that. So it made sense why she wanted to have a physical product. She said she didn't feel engaged enough, I guess, with streaming. So she wanted to have something. She wanted to collect something. Vinyl was too expensive. Vinyl took up too much room for her. She's like, I live in a small place. So it was CDs, and it's hard to argue with that. Plus, I saw this in a different video. To get into CDs, it's a lot easier to get into CDs because the equipment you need, it's a lot easier to deal with a CD player than it is to deal with a vinyl setup. To have a half decent vinyl setup, you've got to spend a certain amount of money. Okay, I'm not going to get into the whole suitcase record player thing. I know a lot of people have those, and if you got it, good for you, and that's fine. But if you want to be somebody who's have at least a little bit of appropriate sound quality, you've got to go a little bit more than those, and you got to spend at least, let's say, $100 to $150 for some entry-level turntable. Then you got to have a receiver that can take a record player, or you got to have a preamp and the needle and the maintenance. And with CD players, yeah, you can spend $5,000 on a CD player and it's going to give you better sound. But for the most part, you can go to Goodwill and pick up a CD player, and the quality of that CD player isn't going to be as radically different as the difference between a $50 record player and a $150 record player is pretty big. The difference between a $50 CD player and a $150 CD player is maybe negligible. I mean, people can comment down below, but you don't have to spend a lot to get a good sounding CD player. And you can hook it up to any stereo easily. So the entry into collecting CDs, I think, is a lot easier. Plus, people can just play them on their computers and stuff like that. A lot of cars still have CD players in them. So it begs the question, will there be a CD revival? I think that there might be to a certain degree, but I don't think it will to the point of what we've seen with vinyl. And there's a couple reasons, I think, for that. For one, I'll just use myself as an example. One of the reasons I collect vinyl is because of the sonics of it, the audio. You get the original recording the way it was intended. I have a whole other video on the loudness wars. You can check that out. A lot of modern CDs, I do not like the mastering. Even a lot of early CDs, the technology wasn't there to transfer them properly. So for me, I feel like to hear these albums in their original intended form, I like to listen to it on vinyl. And I enjoy that vinyl analog experience. If there was some, let's say Spotify all of a sudden said direct from vinyl, had a direct from vinyl platform or something, it still wouldn't sound the same because you're transferring it to digital. But I don't know, maybe that would make a difference for me. I don't know. And I think a thing that works against CDs is that you can listen to streaming, and with Spotify getting ready to go lossless, Amazon has a lossless tier. There's really no sonic advantage, assuming you're on a lossless streaming platform, to having the CD. And there will be people out there that argue that there is, but I think for the most part, in the average person, there isn't. You're getting a lossless file on some of these platforms. So there's really, I can get the exact same sound from the streaming if I have lossless. Whereas with vinyl, I can really only get that vinyl sound if I have the record and I have a decent record player. The other thing is that CDs, of course, with vinyl, you get the larger album cover. I just made a video on this. You get things like a booklet on the inside. It's more aesthetically pleasing. It feels like you're getting more for your money. There's the tactile experience of handling the record, putting it on your record player and all that stuff. And I don't think CDs really quite have that. The booklets in the CDs are so tiny. The lettering in it, I mean, I have to wear reading glasses normally, and I still can't read the booklets for the CDs. They're just, my eyes now are at a point I just can't read it. So, you know, I'm not sure if there's any collector's value in it in that respect for artwork or anything like that. And the other thing is, you know, I think that those two things are going to work against CDs and prevent it from having a real big revival. And I don't think that CDs are ever going to go away the way vinyl went away. Vinyl pretty much disappeared. They stopped making vinyl, just like they stopped making cassettes for a certain period. I don't know what, you know, let's say the 90s. I know that some artists still put out vinyl in the 90s, but it was very limited quantities at that point. For the most part, people weren't releasing things on vinyl, whereas today an artist comes out and they always release a CD, a vinyl, and a streaming. So vinyl went away, basically went away, whereas I don't think CDs are going to completely go away. I don't think you're going to be able to find a CD in a normal box store. You really can't find it at this point right now. But I think you're always going to still be able to order CDs. They're cheap and easy to make for artists and for the people out there who do like collecting CDs. I know I have a lot of people, subscribers to the channel, that they listen to CDs, and I totally get it. I have one thing I do like about CDs is I took all my CDs out of their jewel cases and I put them in paper sleeves. I don't have any of them here in the room with me, and I put the cover in there and saved the back J card, put it in a box, and I've got a drawer that I just open up and they're all lined up there, and that's kind of fun. It's easy to organize it. You just have it all. I've got like 500 CDs just in one big drawer. So and again, sonically, there's some people that their systems are set up for CDs, and it sounds great. And I'm not gonna get into a vinyl versus CD debate. Maybe save that for a different video. I think, but I'm not one of these people who doesn't think that CDs sound good. I think CDs sound great. Actually, a well mastered, well done CD can sound incredible. So I don't think that there will be a revival of the sorts we saw with vinyl. I think it's going to be sort of along the lines of what we're seeing with cassettes. You're seeing some artists now releasing cassettes. I saw Motley Crue. So it was like their first 3 albums on cassette. The cassette boxes are all different colors and stuff. So it's like a collector's thing. I think that CDs will stay out there. There will still be audiophiles. There will still be people in my age group that's their medium of choice. My medium of choice is vinyl. For some people, their medium of choice is mostly CDs. So I get that. And I think that CDs will hang around for that reason. But I don't think they'll ever be, the way we're seeing right now with vinyl, where you'll see independent stores opening up that all they do is sell CDs. I don't think you're gonna have that the way you see that with vinyl now. So. All right, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. As a side note, my son, he's 17, and he's just in the last year or two really started to get into like 90s stuff like Nirvana and Green Day and stuff like that. And he wanted to get some records, and he even wanted to get some CDs. He has some electronic artists that he likes that haven't released vinyl or very limited edition vinyl, but he wants to have a physical copy of something, and he sort of enjoys just having the collection, something to look at and everything. So maybe what the future will be is kids will be doing a lot of each. They'll buy some stuff on vinyl. They'll buy some stuff on CD. Who knows? All right, so let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Do you think that CDs will ever come back to the state that they were in the 90s? Or do you think it'll just sort of stay like a collector's audiophile type of thing? Let me know. I know we've talked about this before, but what do you guys like to do? Are you vinyl streaming? I'm basically vinyl streaming at this point. Are you a mixture of both or strictly CDs? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Layer of the Alchemist on Facebook. And until we see you again, rock hard, ride free.